Across the way, this is a live shot of Winky Wright. He's already warmed up. He's very cool, calm, and collected. He's been in huge fights before. As a matter of fact, his last couple of fights would indicate that he can
19 fights and an incredible 869 rounds. For Ray Olivera, the highs in the ring have been oh so high. In February 2000, he toppled the then undefeated Vivian Harris. Harris would go on to win a 140-pound title, but he couldn't get by Ray. Later that year, Vince Phillips would be on the losing side of Ray's volume punching. Ray set numerous CompuBox punch numbers in that fight. He would give the same effort in 2001 against Ben Tacky, but he wound up losing a majority decision. Most recently, he was in against Ricky Hatton. The soon-to-be world champion was the first fighter to ever stop Ray in 59 career fights. Emanual Agustus' career was more of a roller coaster ride, but still demands respect. In October 2000, he took on Floyd Mayweather. Floyd won, but Mayweather still says a lot of world champs wouldn't have beat Emanuel, and that it was one of the toughest fights he's ever had. In 2001, Augustus took part in Ring Magazine's Fight of the Year. It came against Mickey Ward right here at Hampton Beach. One of his best wins came in April 2004. That's when Emanuel dominated top 10 ranked Alex Trujillo. Then last summer, he dominated top 10 contender Courtney Burton, only to receive the worst hometown decision in officiating ESPN Boxing has ever seen. Now he faces Olivera, who came in 5 pounds over the contracted weight. The veteran is taking full blame.
I apologize to everybody. It's my fault. I have no one to blame but myself. Whatever they say, they can believe or not. I can't prove them wrong unless they go to the gym with me and see that I have been training, that I have been working hard.
Olivera wants respect at this point. He offers it up in talking about Augustus.
He throws punches from any position. His feet doesn't have to be planted somewhere. He doesn't have a big punch, but he just stays busy and throws from every angle. Even winning, he makes you look awful.
Augustus is unconventional, but now he's only concerned with being a winner.
My whole focus now for my remaining years in this boxing game is to just make as much money as I can. Number one, have as many wins as I can and make as much money as a product of that.
These are two of the ultimate pros who deserve every fight fan's attention because they always deliver, as we expect them to do again tonight. Hampton Beach Casino ready for the main event. And let's get you set by introducing you to the two combatants. We will start off with Super Ray, the pride of New Bedford, Mass. He's now 36 years old, 47 career wins. He said he dropped 10 to 15 pounds over the course of the last week. Still came in 5 pounds over the contracted weight. Ray's last 5. He just fought Ricky Hatton in December. He had won 3 straight before that. Teddy, what's the fight plan for Super?
Well, for Olivera, number one, keep it close. You're probably better off inside than on the outside, where his speed can give you more problems. But you must go to the body consistently when you're in there. And number two, no earmuffs. You sometimes go defensive in front by just covering up with your gloves up and your elbows in. This will allow Augustus to get off his punches and score. And finally, number 3, jab to his chest. He'll try to control you on the outside with a little movement and pot shots. You must do something to stabilize him, to control him. And the jab to the chest can do just that.
And here's Emanual Agustus. Of course, when he fought Mickey Ward here in the Fight of the Year, according to Ring Magazine, he was known as Emanuel Burton. But he took his father's last name when his parents were married a couple of years ago. He's now 30 years old. 5'7", he's 4 inches shorter than Ray. And a look at Augustus's last 5. He's fought once since Teddy and I went nuts watching him get robbed against Courtney Burton. The loss to Thomas Barrientos was a DQ for unsportsmanlike conduct when he spoke back to the referee in a fight that he was winning. Teddy, what's the fight plan for the very unpredictable Emanual Agustus?
Don't speak back to the ref.
That's right. Number 1.
Number 1. Now number 1A. Show the speed. You are faster than him. Show it by controlling the outside with those quick combinations. Number 2, distance and angles. Olivera needs to be set to punch and to be close enough to be effective. So stay outside. Don't allow him to get close and use your legs to keep him off balance by moving to the sides as you punch. And finally, number 3, don't be defensive too long. You move your head well, but at times you may make too many moves without punching. This allows Olivera to go on the attack without worrying about anything coming back. When you move, come back as soon as possible with something so he doesn't take control.
Respect the bell, and above all, protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves. God bless you both.
One of the all-time greats, Double S, Steve Smoger, the referee. Of course, he was the referee for Augustus Mickey Ward. May we have the same result here tonight. You want experience, you got him. These two fighters are to boxing experience what Bob Barker is to game show experience. They have been there year after year, time and time again. The numbers speak for themselves. Opening round scheduled for 10. Super Ray in the red, Emanual Augustus in the leopard print.
Olivera came in heavy yesterday at the weigh-in. You touched on it earlier, Joe. The contract was 145 pounds. Olivera came in 152.5 pounds. He went to lose weight. He lost 2.5 pounds down to 150 and then made a financial agreement with the camp of Augustus to give half of his purse to Augustus to allow him to come in at 150 pounds.
And with all the 26 years, the 119 fights, the 869 rounds between these two, they've had one first-round knockout among them.
Olivera's strength, his suit, he's steady, but usually needs to be close to work. The only thing you see on the outside is that jab. But the quicker hands, the more explosive style, belongs to Augustus. He fights in spots, though. He'll give you spots to catch up when he's not working. But those spots are a little bit more stylish, a little bit more explosive, with the natural ability of speed than Olivera. Olivera likes to be steady, try to wear you down,
Right hand comes in from red.
and likes to get to the body to slow you down. Again, most of the work from Olivera is going to be in here, in close quarters. I think the advantage for Augustus will be right there on the outside. He can use his quick hands on the outside, Joe. He can use the quick legs on the outside. And he could probably have an advantage on the outside if he could be consistent with that, seeing that Olivera really doesn't get the engine revved up until he gets into close quarters.
Augustus was able to put a left hand between the guard of Olivera.
It's kind of like the tortoise and the hare. You remember that story when you were a kid? The tortoise is slower. That would be Olivera. But he's steady. Always going along nice and steady. Of course, the hare is quicker. That would be Augustus. But the hare makes some stops along the way and allows the tortoise to catch up and get ahead. Augustus makes stops along the way.
Does so many times.
He's making a stop right there.
He is. Now, this is what you're talking about, Teddy. And it was one of your fight plans.
See the hare making that little stop there? The tortoise just chugging along. That's where Olivera wants to be, in close.
Right on the inside, he put the left and right together, then back to the jab.
The only thing you're going to see on the outside with Olivera is that almost ponderous, steady jab. Most of the other work for Olivera will be inside.
Olivera Augustus in round one.
An hour tops, right? An hour tops. Hey, babe.
I need your opinion on something. Because sometimes your opinions are actually really helpful. Is she bugging you?
No, not at all.
Changed my life. I was thinking about taking up a new hobby. So right now it's knitting and skateboarding. I think I'd probably be better at knitting. Do you have enough room out there?
Yeah, I'm good.
The new, roomier Jetta. Come drive it. You'll get it.
You gotta try this banana cream pie blizzard from Dairy Queen. What are you doing?
It's incredible. I've learned to speak B.
B. What possible scientific purpose could that serve? Oh!
The new DQ Dream Pie Blizzard treats in French silk, key lime, and banana cream with real pie pieces. They're to die for.
Mix in your other stuff. You're strong. The fighter focus on Ray Olivera as you see trainer John Scully trying to talk to him after the first round. Lost a lot of weight to get ready for this fight and still came in 5 pounds over the weight. He's fought everybody and anybody, and this is the 18th time that he has fought on ESPN. As for Emanual Agustus, one of the real characters of the game, recently sparred with Costa Zoo, got him ready for Ricky Hatton, who was coming off of a fight with Ray Olivera. He has fought everybody, and this is his 14th career fight on ESPN. Teddy, we were talking about the other day, but if we were to have a Hall of Fame of Friday night fights, these two guys are getting in on the first ballot.
Yes, they are, and Mickey Ward is right there.
Mickey Ward, who has fought 24 times on Friday Night Fights and is here tonight. We hope to visit with him a little later on. This is his home court right here, Mickey Ward. His castle of boxing. Ray tries to come in behind the jab and throw off that right hand. Augustus. Now that smile comes up on Emanual Agustus, and you know he's getting comfortable and he's ready to let loose.
We're going to see if the steadiness of Olivera is better than the quickness and style and movement of Augustus.
6-7 punches that time. The right hand came in. Punches in round 1. You see Augustus at 20 out of 87. You see what Ray Olivera does best. Getting those punch stats up over 100. 19 out of 103.
Again, when there's distance, the only punch you're usually going to see from Olivera will be that jab. Not a fast jab, but a straight, stiff one. And one that so far tonight has been fairly accurate. Once again, the quicker hands, the man in the leopard trunk.
Getting a good look at the hand speed right now, Teddy.
And you're getting a look at how Augustus can be the man when there's distance. He can get more done on the outside with more weapons, more choices of arsenal than Olivera has. Olivera's only weapon at his disposal when there's distance is that jab. Augustus, he can do much more when there's distance. He can take advantage of that distance like that with both hands.
Into the body with the left hand. Ray just keeps firing back, but being backed up now by Augustus. 2 right hands and 2 left hooks to the body, and then back upstairs.
These spots here when Augustus will stop, like right here, when he goes defensive just a little too long, that's where Olivera must make hay. Well, that little bit of sun is shining. Like right now. And Ray not taking advantage of that little spot. And that can hurt him as this fight progresses.
Snaps back his head with a left hand, does Augustus, and now puts 2 right hands in the midst of that combination.
Again, Augustus, as we said at the top, Joe, served on the outside. That's where he can really make the best use and show the separation of that advantage of speed on the outside.
Good round of action between these two.
This mattress is taking forever. I've been at it for 20 minutes already.
It'd be a lot faster if you use the right tool for the job. Like the new Airman Inflation Station from Canadian Tire. It's a complete inflation solution. The yellow inflator is perfect for things like this air mattress or an inflatable raft.
What about this? For that, I'll need the gray compressor.
It's perfect for inflating all kinds of sports equipment.
And the cordless, too. That's pretty handy.
Sure is. Means I can inflate just about anything, anywhere. And keeping the batteries fully charged is as easy as sliding them into the wall-mounted base, just like a cordless phone.
How about a bike ride?
Let's play soccer!
I was thinking, the lake. The Airman Inflation Station, only $49.99. Now that's different. And only at Canadian Tire.
Joe Tessitore and Teddy Atlas with you on Friday Night Fights presented by AutoZone. Round 3 of our main event between the always entertaining Emanual Agustus in the leopard print trunks and Super Ray Olivera, the veteran who says he wants respect. He apologizes for coming in 5 pounds overweight, but he's looking for respect at age 36, and he says, I will keep going until I'm not wanted any longer. Right hand comes in from Augustus.
We will use geometric figures to describe this fight. You would say that Olivera is a triangle, and the rectangle is Augustus. There's just more angles to Augustus. He can do more things. He can fight inside with you. He can fight outside. He can fight on the sides. Olivera mostly limited to serving whatever he's going to serve offensively right here, right in front of you. Now it's up to Augustus to continue showing those angles and those dimensions and those sides to himself. If he doesn't, if he just stands in front, he will make this a very interesting fight and allow Olivera to be where he could be most effective. Always moving those hands, especially when you stand in front of him. Once again, the quicker hands belong to Augustus, and he can use that speed on the outside, especially since Olivera does most of his work, as we said earlier, when he gets close. The only thing you're going to see from Olivera, Joe, on the outside is that jab. But not Augustus. You're going to see a lot of things from the outside.
We're used to it.
Even some things that are a little unorthodox.
And many times that's when he's at his best.
See when he's moving his head like that and he's twisting all over and doing these contortions? That's where Olivera must use that experience, that great experience he has. Not be shaken and throw the jab to the chest of Augustus. Steady Augustus. Stabilize Augustus. Take some of that movement away from him. Not get caught up in it. Not get mesmerized by it.
You know, the one guy that never solved that, Teddy, was Alex Trujillo when we did that fight.
No, he never did.
And he was just completely embarrassed by Emanual Agustus. And at the time, he was a top 10 ranked fighter that people were falling in love with.
Augustus has done that to a lot of good fighters. He has fought many, many good fighters throughout his career.
Very good. End of round number 3. Emanual Agustus. Speaking of one of the great fighters that he has fought throughout his career, well, let's take you back to July of 2001. It was the ESPN Fight of the Year. It was the Ring Magazine Fight of the Year. And when you think of all-action wars where two guys just give it everything they have, does it get any better than Emanuel Burton, as he was known at the time, against Irish Mickey Ward? Of course, the memorable scene when referee Steve Smoger came in, hugged them at the final bell, and said, God bless you, I love both of you, and we couldn't get enough of that. The 2001 Fight of the Year. And we are always so glad to be joined by Irish Mickey Ward when we come here. I call this your home court here. This is kind of your place.
Yeah, it is, actually. I'm only down the street in about a half hour.
Good to see you, Mickey. How you been?
I'm doing fine, thank you. Everything's going good.
Let me ask you this, because everybody always wants to know, are the eyes good? You feeling good? I know you went into retirement. How have things been physically?
Right, the hands are good, the eyes are good. I got surgery on both eyes, you know, to correct my the vision and stuff. Everything's good right now, and hopefully, God forbid, it stays that way.
Yeah, we wish you the best with that. Mickey, when you take a look at Emanual Agustus, you know, he said to me yesterday, he said, what a pleasure it was to see Mickey Ward in person coming up here to New Hampshire, because I've talked to him on the phone, but it means a lot to me to see him in person. What are your thoughts when you visit with Emanual?
I talked to Emanual, and he's a respectable guy. He's got a lot of respect, and I got a lot of respect for him. And it's great, you know, fighters have that camaraderie, you know, like that respect for each other. And you should have more of that, you know what I mean? That's what it's about, is the respect. It's into hurt sport. We're all in there trying to win, but it's about respect, too. He's a great guy, and I wish him all the best.
Did you get a headache when you watched those clips?
Actually, yeah, I do, Ted. I'm like, why did I do this?
Now here's Agustus with the showboating and a left hooker cut that comes in. And this is what he just loves to do, the stylist.
Well, let's talk about what this can do. This can do a couple of things. One, it can definitely distract his opponent. Although his opponent, Ray Olivera, a guy who's fought for the world title, the IBF Junior Welterweight World title, and has fought 7 current or former world champions, should be experienced enough to deal with that, but it can distract your opponent. It also can take you a little bit out of the fight.
Oh, what an uppercut!
And like I said, it can mesmerize your opponent and set up big shots. Now, the last thing it can do, can it hurt you on the scorecard? Can it hurt you with the judges? It has sometimes in the past, even though it shouldn't. It should be all about the punches. But sometimes it's not. Right now, it is distracting Olivera. It is seeming to stop his engine from running.
Mickey, what's your take on this?
That Augusta, he's something else. He fights in those angles, and he's like, he does that puppet stuff to you, in and out, to the side, and he frustrates you. You have to keep your composure and say the game plan, because if you don't, he'll beat you in your mind.
Mickey, that's a great way to describe it. You said the puppet stuff, because what I've always seen through the years is it's almost as if a string is pulling up that left knee up in the air, and you take a look at the left knee, the next thing you know, a left hand is coming with it.
Right, you have to. That's why you have to keep your composure, and you have to catch him when he's jumping. When that hand and the legs in the air, you're gonna tag him.
Exactly, Mickey. We were talking about that earlier. That's where you must, number one, keep your composure, as you just said, and make sure your hands go, because while he's doing that, a part of him's going to be out of position.
Right, exactly. And that's when you can get hurt, when you don't see something. And when he's bouncing like that, if you catch him, you can hurt him, but he's so elusive. It's easy to say for me sitting here, but I know being up there with him is very hard.
You have the right to say anything you want.
Very good. Irish Mickey Ward with you. Now, you always come and visit with us when we're up here in New Hampshire, but tonight was obviously a very special night that you were deeply invested in, because your 21-year-old nephew, Sean Eklund, was making his pro debut. He was out there against Joey Ortega. This was a really good action-filled fight. In the first round, he went down from a right hand. What did you think of your nephew tonight? He would go on to lose a split decision.
Right, Sean showed a lot of grit. He got caught early. He caught on the ear, and he went down. You know, and I told him, Sean, Bernard Hopkins, the best middleweight, probably the second best middleweight in the world ever, lost his first pro fight, like you had said. And, Sean, you can either learn from this or it can make you a better fighter or a worse fighter. I go, Sean, study this thing and make you a better fighter. Don't let it kill you. Come back the next day or next whatever and do better and learn from it, because everyone loses. And the thing is, if you learn from it, you make you a better fighter. If it kills you, if you don't, it'll make you a worse fighter. So, Sean, keep your composure, not keep your composure, but be strong. And know in your heart that you want it and do it again.
Well, that's good advice, Mickey. And as you said, one thing that you can't teach, and that's hard. And
that's right.
Your nephew showed plenty of that, getting off the floor early in his first pro debut, in his first fight, in the first round, getting off the floor and making it a close fight.
Right, Teddy. You can show technique all you want, Teddy, in different styles or different methods or what have you, but you either have it or you don't. Either you have it or you don't, and he showed he did, Teddy. Now he's just going to sharpen up on the skills.
I agree with you. He showed the trademark of that Ward family. Plenty of tickers.
Right, but I just don't want him to square up when he was doing it.
Well, now it's time to go to the chalkboard and learn and work on the mistakes.
That's right.
So round number 4, Ray Olivera had 111 punches thrown around, in which Augustus really got everyone's attention with his antics and was scoring well, especially with the uppercut. Olivera's thrown over 100 punches in every single round so far. We're a minute into the 5th now.
Now, these are the quarters where Olivera wants to be, and it makes sense for him to be, right? Mickey, on the inside. That's where he does most of his work.
Exactly. Ray's the bigger guy, and Ray wants him to stay there, so Ray don't have to move around too much. And then he's reserving his energy right now doing it. He's throwing punches, he ain't moving his legs, so he's keeping his energy.
And he can go to the body and start to take maybe some of those legs away.
Exactly.
From Augustus.
Exactly. He's the bigger man, and that will wear on you. But Augustus is so elusive. He's like, even though he's in front of you, he's not.
Well, that's why right now, Ray's got to make the most of his opportunity.
Exactly. And he is, but he's laying in there. He's punching in there, but he's laying more.
He's not doing quite the effective work that you'd like to see him doing. And there's a good example of what you're saying. Giving a little opportunity now for Augustus to explode.
Augustus lets his hands go. Mickey, thank you so much for visiting with you. Hey, listen, best of luck to your nephew. I know you're a great influence in his life, and all your great contributions to the sport continue onward. Mickey Ward.
Thanks, man.
Good having you, Mickey.
Final minute here of round number 5. These two guys haven't moved for a good minute and a half. Ray Olivera pops a right hand in there. Emanual Agustus looks for the opportunities to put 10 punches together. And he does just that. Uppercut comes in from Augustus. Right hand, 1, 2, 3 of them.
And there's a little distance, a little space. As soon as you see those angles in that little space, that little distance, look for Augustus to exploit it with his quicker hands, and he has. Again, there's just more angles, more dimensions to Augustus than there is to Olivera.
Ray Olivera has thrown over 125 punches in this round as we come to the end of round number 5. Augustus has thrown over 100 himself. Just a fabulous, fabulous round of action as we come to the halfway point of this scheduled 10-rounder, and we check in with Christy Martin and Brian Kenny. Brian.
All right, guys, not much action over the last week in boxing, but Sam Peter did get in the ring. Again, he's 24 years old. He's a big, strong heavyweight. That's a rarity these days. Sam Peter getting in against Taurus Sykes, decent heavyweight, and Sam Peter looked too big and too strong once again, and he takes out Taurus Sykes, a knockout in the second round. What do you think of Sam Peter, Christy?
Absolutely, the strength, the power, the early knockouts that he's producing, that's going to keep people's interest, get their interest in the heavyweight division. I would just like to see someone get him into 5, 6, and 7, and let's see what his power is later in the fight.
Hey, the main thing, he's 24 years old. Everybody in the top 20 is 30 years old and up. Eventually, he's going to get there. You know, it's interesting, guys. We're talking about the fight in Emanual Agustus. If that's what he does to get in his rhythm, let him do it. I don't think it's showboating. It's like a drunken master. He gets in that rhythm, Christy.
Absolutely. It gets him in his rhythm. He's done nothing but better since that point. Hey, it works for him.
It does indeed. Joe, legend of the drunken master.
Yes, exactly, Brian. And I agree with your assessment, Brian. If that's how he's at his best, then go for it. And here he comes out in round 6, already starting with that form. So let's see if he goes to it. Hands down, side to side, knees up, and firing off right hands that are swaying behind him, and then all of a sudden they're landing flush. CompuBox numbers from round 5. Look at the punches. 56 out of 108 for Augustus. And Olivera on the other side threw 143. Good stuff. Right hand comes in as Super Ray falls him back. Now staying with the jab, and the puppet is in form. Combination comes in from Augustus.
A lot of people would ask, how do you deal with this kind of movement and chaotic, behavior? But the way you deal with it is, as Mickey was touching on, stay composed, use all that experience that we talked about that Olivera has, and throw punches. While he's making all those movements, his body's in front of you. Some of it is more show than go. So what you have to do is you got to move your hands and take advantage of them. Don't get mesmerized and set up by the movement, but take advantage of him being out of position and start trucking punches at him.
That jab to the chest was part of Teddy's fight plan. And right now on Teddy's scorecard, Emanual Agustus has taken rounds 2 through 5 for a 49-46 edge.
So these are the spots where the hair, the quicker racket, Augustus, and he's shown that, takes little breaks where Olivera did not make the most of it. You must take advantage of these spots where Augustus slows down. Again, the problem for Olivera, he loaded it right at the top. Other than the jab, his repertoire is only useful when he's in close. If Augustus keeps distance, well, he separates himself and he's the better guy. And there's a double punch right there.
And then a left and a right.
But what you got to look at here, Joe, is not the end result, but the beginning. When Augustus is making all those movements, shooting his hands to the side, then he's not ready to punch. And when he's doing that, see, Olivera just watched him. He got mesmerized, and he allowed the hands to get back into punching position, and he paid a price for it. But when the hands are shooting to the side, when he's out of position, that's when you have to work. That's when you got to throw your shots up the pike, up the middle. And that's where you need a real clear, steady head to do that. And Olivera has not been doing that despite all his experience. He's been caught up in all that flash and pizzazz.
He did it in the 4th round, and he came back and pulled it off again here in the 6th round. Let's check back in with Brian Kenny.
All right, Joe, some boxing news now. The Nevada State Athletic Commission suspending Eric Morrell, former flyweight titleist, pled no contest to second-degree sexual assault. He could get time in jail. The assault involved a 15-year-old girl. Morrell was to fight Fernando Montiel Saturday on the Hopkins-Taylor undercard. That's out now. He'll be sentenced in August, and the commission will revisit the matter at that time. Some other notes. Welterweight champion Zab Judah said to be leaning toward a title defense against Sharmba Mitchell. That according to Dan Raphael on ESPN.com. Mitchell looked marvelous last time out against Chris the Mechanic Smith in his welterweight debut on the Tyson McBride undercard. Also, former junior lightweight champion Acelino Freitas will fight Saturday night in Brazil. Still one of the most exciting fighters in the world. Second fight since the loss to Corrales. He'll face Fabian Salazar of Panama. That'll do it for the news right now. Let's send it back live boxing again, and the master, Emanual Agustus, in the ring. Joe?
Yeah, you want to see another look at what the master pulled off in that round.
Time.
A double punch, Teddy?
Time. Exactly what it was. Two for the price of one.
You know, Teddy,
Right
now
here.
what's going on over
Nice
here
job,
in
my
the Real
friend. All the way around. Take your time.
We're wrapping up the right side as Steve Smoger wanted to address the tape. So a little extra time for Ray Olivera.
Excellent.
Olivera took a break in the last round. If you consider throwing 89 punches a round a break, Augustus outthrew him for the first time. He's been outlanding him, but he outthrew him for the first time in the 6th round, and Augustus right back to his antics.
Well, this is a very difficult style for Olivera, for anybody. But let's not forget, Olivera has had such a long career with so many tough fights, with all the toughest fighters around. He finally cracked just a little bit. This is a fighter who had never been stopped in his 15-year career. He cracked a little bit in his last fight when he was stopped for the first time in that long career with now new champion Ricky Hatton, who just beat Katsuzu. Perhaps a sign, maybe, Joe, of the concrete wall starting to crack after many, many hits from the hammer.
Agreed, Teddy.
You know, you got a wall. Augustus by no means is a huge puncher, but he's a quick puncher, and he hits you with a lot of punches. You have a wall, and Olivera has represented a wall. Anytime you're not stopped in 15 years, that's a wall. But you keep banging at that wall, banging at that wall, banging at that wall. Sooner or later, it starts to give just a little bit.
Double right hands and a right hand to the body from Augustus, who has to stop for a good 20 seconds. Meanwhile, on the other side, Ray Olivera slowed down in round number 6. Round 5, he threw 143. Round 6, he threw 89. And so far, he has thrown 50 punches here in this 7th round.
There's only so much you can take in a career of boxing. It's like football players. They can only go so long. No different with boxing. Olivera, he had never been cut in his whole 15-year career, but cut 2 of his last 4 fights. To me, again, another sign of some wear and tear, going up and down in weight, his skin stretching and then coming back down. All those years, all of a sudden your body starts to show wear and tear it had never shown.
And it ain't going to get much easier as we come down to the last 3 rounds here in this fight.
How is this guy going at you with the ability he has? Talking about Augustus, the speed that he has, the style that he has. He gives you so many different dimensions. He can fight inside with you, hold you on the inside, be able to just hold his own like he's doing right now. He's giving Olivera a taste of his own medicine on the inside and getting the better of him. Then he can take it outside where Olivera cannot match him.
Good shot. Right hand to the body. Emanual Agustus seemingly in total control now as we're in the 7th round against Ray Olivera.
An hour tops, right? An hour, I promise. Hey, babe.
I need your opinion on something, because sometimes your opinions are actually really helpful. Is she bugging you?
No, not at all.
Changed my life. I was thinking about taking up a new hobby. So right now it's between knitting and skateboarding. I think I'd probably be better at knitting. Do you have enough room back there?
Yeah, I'm good.
The new, roomier Jetta. Come drive it. You'll get it.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Can you hold this for a few minutes?
Certainly.
I'll take it.
If life were like that, you wouldn't need the $50,000 totally loaded Visa card contest. Just use your Visa card and you could win. And check out Disney's new movie, Herbie Fully Loaded, this summer.
Guess what? The Rabbit hasn't made many stops along the way tonight.
Friday night fights coming to you from Hampton Beach Casino in Hampton Beach, New Hampshire. Joe Tessitore and Teddy Atlas ringside with you for a spectacular showing that we get every year, and this time it has been Emanual Agustus who's been in prime form and doing his thing. He's in the leopard trunks taking on the veteran Ray Olivera, who was 21 out of 105 in that last round. Meanwhile, Augustus, a ridiculous 62 out of 123.
Yeah, come on, guys, get that shit out of here. Come on.
Big punch numbers always between these two, but Augustus' percentage very, very high.
And as I talked about before, the long, tough career of Olivera. Augustus tonight, not only the faster, but the younger and fresher fighter. Don't minimize that. And his tough career.
30 years old, Emanual Agustus. And really, in recent years, Teddy, with the outings he had against Alex Trujillo and the outing he had against Courtney Burton, you can make the argument he's coming into his prime. Let's bring in Ice John Scully, the trainer for Super Ray Olivera. Ice, how do you solve this problem that Ray has in front of him? What do you tell him?
I mean, with Ray at this point in his career, I mean, I think he can't let this guy run around and razzle-dazzle the crowd and pick him off with these sharp shots. The guy's really hard to fight. He's hard to box. And I think he really needs to get back on him.
What's the matter, Ray? What's the matter?
Steve Smoger.
Come on, what's the matter? All right. You want the doctor to look at you? Okay, time in.
Very professional job by Steve Smoger trying to address that. John, if you want to get off headsets right now and try to get a sense of what's going on with your fighter,
I'm concerned. I'm concerned, and I'll say it right now, I'm concerned about Olivera. He's had a 15-year
John, we'll let you get back to work.
Doc,
John Scully, thank you for your time.
John Scully,
corner of Ray Olivera.
As you just said, Joe, the new trainer for the last couple of fights for Ray Olivera. John Scully, a professional fighter.
Very good light heavyweight back in the day.
Yes, 1988 to 2001 spans his career. And a good trainer, too. But right now, working with an old fighter in the twilight of his career, Ray Olivera.
Olivera kind of giving his last effort here because he's holding the back of his head. And Teddy, I would have major concerns right now. If he feels something in his head, maybe they want to take a good look here.
I'm concerned, and I think I was touching on this earlier, and if our cameras can get a close look, Ray Olivera
he's holding the side of his head.
Not only that, he looks like he's crying. And there's blood coming out of his nose, and I think this fight needs to be stopped.
Come here, doctor.
Steve Smoger's doing a great job by taking time to look things over. Let's listen in.
Where are you?
Come on. All right,
Can you see me?
New Hampshire. Look at me.
Look at my fingers.
If there's any kind of stuff, Doc, I don't want any trouble in here, Doc.
Back your head okay?
What do you think, Doc?
Dave. All right.
You gonna let him fight, Doc?
We'll watch him.
I'm concerned about this.
You know, I think Steve Smoger doesn't want to let him fight.
No, he doesn't. And that's why he's one of the top referees in the business. He lets you fight when you're supposed to be allowed to fight. And that's why he's been involved. No accident with some of the greatest fights that you're ever going to see. But when there's reason for him to step in and start showing concern about a fight not going on, he starts to show that concern. And the doctor decided to let it go. But we'll see.
Steve is saying, hey, I'm not a doctor, so I'm going to listen to what you have to say, but I don't like the looks of this, and neither do I, Teddy, as we come to the end of this round.
Introducing the all-new Mitsubishi Eclipse. Available in 6-speed, 263-horse Myvec V6. Driven to thrill.
Wow, it's beautiful. Can you hold this for a few minutes?
Certainly.
I'll take it.
If life were like that, you wouldn't need the $50,000 totally loaded Visa card contest. Just use your Visa card and you could win. And check out Disney's new movie, Herbie Fully Loaded, this summer.
The fight is over, as well it should be, as you see Emanual Agustus coming over to the corner
I don't like the way he's acting.
and talking to Ray Olivera.
I don't like any of this.
Steve Smoger, the outstanding veteran referee, who basically was asking the doctor to finish off the fight at the end of the last round, came over there and said, that is it. I have seen enough. That is it. I don't like the way you're reacting. I don't like the way you're wincing and that you're touching your head. That's those boxing instincts that a doctor, Teddy, may not have, but a referee of all the veteran fights, Steve Smoger, does have.
His response.
Good job, buddy, Smoger. And I said earlier that I just felt very concerned about Olivera. And I spent a lot of time the last couple rounds before we got to this point talking about the tough, long career, the amount of punches that Olivera took. And there was a reason I was talking about that. There comes a time to turn in or throw in the towel when you're in this kind of business. I think that time may be there for Olivera.
There's Emanual Agustus, who actually was showing concern in the last round. You could actually see that in his face also. Something just was askew with Ray Olivera. Here's the replay, Teddy.
Again, Joe, when you're a fighter that's fought the kind of tough fights Olivera has fought and taken the punishment that he's taken, there is an effect after that. As you can see, a right hand, first a clean one on the front of the head, on the chin, and then a glancing one behind the head. And that's the one you can see right there where Olivera bent forward, grabbed the back of the head, and continued to complain about the effects of that punch as the moments went on as he fought during that round.
So Emanual Agustus gets the TKO win. Look at the total punches that were thrown in this fight, but look at the landed column and see the percentage for Emanual Agustus. Just very, very impressive display by Emanual Agustus, who says now it's not about being a stylist and entertaining, although he was once again. It's about winning, making as much money as I can, and getting the big wins. Emanual Agustus.
You know what I'm concerned right now is I hope that they get Olivera, the doctors get him to a hospital, because now is the time he needs to get to a hospital now, after this fight, because you do not know what's going on inside Olivera. I'm not trying to panic anyone, but they need to get him to a hospital and make sure that he's looked after.
Especially with all the recent tragedies that we've seen.
The other, there could be serious problems going on
there. Over Ray Olivera. Let's send it back to Brian Kenny and Christy Martin.
All right, Joe, you're so right. Absolutely right. And Joe and Teddy saw that immediately. And thank God Steve Smoger saw that. I mean, Christy, the guy gets hit on one side of the head toward the back of his head, and he starts reaching toward the other. There could be serious problems going on there. And I didn't like the way he was reacting toward that corner either.
I absolutely agree with you. And thank God that we had Steve Smoger in there with him, because had it been a lesser experienced referee, he could have let the fight continue, and Ray Olivera could be injured permanently.
And I think Teddy's right, too. Now it's time for further care and neurological care to get in there with Olivera, because he would have fought on, but you got to protect the fighter from himself. So a good stoppage there. By the way, a marvelous performance by Emanual Agustus as well.
Oh, each and every time out, this guy never stops to surprise us, I think, you know, with the little antics he has, and then the crisp, straight, clean punches that he was landing tonight. He keeps getting better.
That's the way he should fight. Look, don't fight just straight up and going like, no, you got to do your thing and dance around. You'll be all right. Hey, July 30th, the big fight again, Lucia Riker against Christy Martin. Hope it does very well for you. Good luck. Best of luck in Las Vegas. Thank you, Christy.
Thank you very much for having me.
Good talking to you. The coal miner's daughter. Again, Christy Martin, again, July 30th against Lucia Riker. Hey, we're back here. Live boxing on ESPN2. Carlos Quintana, Francisco Campos. Yeah, that's not them. Yeah, they're at the Playboy Mansion. In case you haven't figured that out, Tuesday night fights back at the Playboy Mansion, July 12th, 10 o'clock Eastern Time. Next Friday night fights, 9 Eastern, July 15th. Jason Litzau, very impressive, steps up in class against John Nolasco. And our special guest, yes, on the eve of Hopkins making his 21st title defense against Jermaine Taylor. Bernard Hopkins, Jermaine Taylor, and we will have one of the greatest of all time in the studios with us. Marvelous Marvin Hagler. That's next week here on Friday Night Fights. Had an interesting night by the shore. Good performances all around. Emanual Agustus showing class, showing style once again. We hope for the best for Ray Olivera. Coming up next on ESPN2, K1 Karate. Thanks for watching Friday Night Fights, your boxing authority.
Weeknights on TSN, we have a talk block of sports talk shows. First up, Pardon the Interruption at 5:30, followed by Off the Record with Michael Landsberg at 6.